Hey friends, it's Jackeline here. In today's video, I'm bringing you my review, demo, swatches, and a ton of comparisons on the brand new Hourglass Ambient Lighting Edit Sculpture. But before we get started, and if you're new here, I hope that you will consider and subscribe to my channel, ring that post notification bell so you don't miss any of my uploads, and come and follow me on my Instagram. And now, if you want to see all the details about this holiday face palette by Hourglass, then just keep on watching. As I promised to you, my friends, I was just waiting for my package to be delivered, and here it is. Finally, it arrived. The Ambient Lighting Edit Sculpture Face Palette by Hourglass. This is part of Hourglass 2020 Holiday Collection, along with a face squad as well as a lip confession duo. Both of those products, I have already reviewed them on a separate video. I will be leaving it either up on the cards or on the description box below for your convenience, so you can take a look at it and see the different details about those specific products. But today it's going to be dedicated to the 6-pan palette right here, which I'm super excited for. This is a very anticipated palette for Hourglass. Every year they come out with one, and here you go, we have it. So let me just show it close to you right here. There is the unicorn gold, very beautiful on the sides, all gold. And then you will find more details right here. Then if you go to the back, there's even more details right here. And talking about details, this palette costs $80. It's available only and exclusively at Hourglass website as of right now. Then on September 25th, it's gonna go for sale on various retailers. I will be again leaving all the details of my makeup today, where you can find this palette, on the description box below. I will be updating you whenever it comes live on any website and whatnot, if you follow me on Instagram, or again down there on the description box. Alrighty friends, this palette is made in Italy and it has a shelf life of 12 months. And we will go back to the 12-month situation in a little right here. Each of these palettes, they come with a little brochure that it gives you a little bit of a guide of how to use the palette. And it's also translated in different languages, which I really appreciate. I like this detail about Hourglass. And if you follow me on Instagram, you may have seen already this because I posted it on my stories. Here it is, the gorgeous packaging. I really love that they went back to this gold component. Now, it is a little bit different than other years, as it has an architectural design with these facets on the sides. I think it's just gorgeous. And then let's just open it up, and here you go. Now, this palette contains 2 finishing powders, 1 highlighter, 2 blushes, and a bronzer. On this palette, we will find 3 existing shades, which are the 2 finishing powders as well as 1 of the blushes. And then we have 3 exclusive shades, which are 1 blush, the bronzer, and the highlighter. Isn't this so beautiful? I think it's just gorgeous. We're gonna go into comparisons in a little, but I wanna go ahead and give this palette a good swatch. Okay, so here are the first 3 shades. Index and my middle finger are finishing powders. On my ring finger, I do have the highlighter, dim light, diffuse light, glistening strobe light. I'm gonna go for bronzer, blush, natural bronze light, vibrant flash, mood exposure. I went ahead and built up a little bit more the shades so you're able to see it. Now, I do have a light medium skin tone, and I will be leaving all my shade matches on the description box below, so that way you can serve to you as a reference. I'm super excited to try this product. So I'm gonna be using my Wayne Goss airbrush, and I'm gonna go to the shade Diffuse Light, which is existing. Now, this shade right here, I mean, you will be a little bit scared. It looks very whitish, but actually it's kind of translucent. And what it actually does is gonna just brighten it up, the areas that you want to brighten it. Also, it can serve as a setting powder, although it's a finishing powder. Depends how much you like to set. If you don't like to bake, I mean, these are very ethereal type of powders, and I'm gonna use that on my under eyes. And as you can tell, it doesn't leave a white cast at all. Now let's go for the bronzer. And I'm gonna use my Sonia G Face Pro brush. Oh, okay, this is a red undertone bronzer, which is very pretty, but it's something that you will have to like. I will compare it in a minute with the palette from last year and another bronzers from Hourglass so you can see the difference. I like to kind of contour a little bit my nose with the bronzer. Okay, it does diffuse beautifully. Now let's go for the blush. This blush right here is exclusive to this palette. It's called Vibrant Flash. I love it because it's a beautiful coral shade, and I'm using my Sonia G Soft Chic brush. So how much you pick up the brush? Use that on this side. Oh, so pretty. That's so beautiful. Now it is important to know that this is a strobe blush. Therefore, this blush right here does have just a little bit of radiance, which is just stunning. Okay, on the other cheek, I'm gonna go with Mood Exposure, which is already existing in the line of Hourglass. And this shade I think is mostly for like everyday, and I'm using my BK Beauty 104 brush. This is more of like a soft matte type of blush. This right here, again, it does have that subtle, beautiful radiance. With my Refer 20 brush, I'm gonna go to Glistening Strobe Light. Now this one in particular is not like the highlighter of last year's palette, which we will compare in a little. This will give you a very subtle radiance. It's not really a highlighter for what we know. It's not really that highlighter that will give you like a beaming glow. In fact, I will say that if you like finishing powders that will give you a glow all over your skin, you can actually swipe all your brush on all these three and just go on the perimeter of your face. Perhaps we will do that today. Okay, now let's go with this shade right here, which is Dim Light, and I'm gonna be using my Sonia G Master Face, and this will give you just a very soft diffuse effect. Now what I like about face palettes is the versatility, so I always like to try it on my eyes. I'm gonna go ahead and go for the bronzer, and I'm using my Scott Barnes number 62 brush. And this is how much it picked up all over my eyelid, focusing a little bit more above the crease. This brush is so beautiful because it really hugs the eyelid so well and it blends amazingly. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and deepen out a little bit my outer V. Sonia G Classic Crease, and I'm gonna go to Mood Exposure, and I'm gonna apply it right here again on the outer third of the eyelid. Sonia G Builder Pro and Vibrant Flash, and I'm gonna apply it right on the middle of my eyelid. A Smith 253 brush and the shade Glistening Strobe Light, and I'm gonna apply these right on the center of the eyelid, and this will give just a little bit more dimension to the eye look. It's still very soft, still very wearable. Now, and to finish off this look, I'm gonna go with my double-ended Hourglass brush. I will be leaving it on the cards down below, and I'm just gonna do what I told you I was gonna do. I'm gonna just go across the top, and I'm just gonna buff. As you can tell, this shade right here is not really your typical highlighter. Now, if you want to emphasize it, let's try the Sonia G Mini Cheek brush, and let's just go for it a little bit more dense and see how that goes. As you can tell, it's just barely there. Is that highlighter for like every day. Now with my Refer 03 brush, I'm gonna go to this shade, and I'm just gonna apply it on my inner corner and on my brow bone. For the lips, I'm gonna use Hourglass a Sculpture Confession in At Dusk. Alrighty friends, so I went ahead and just applied a little bit of mascara, eyeliner. Again, everything will be linked on the description box below. Now let's go into comparisons. Out of all the palettes from Hourglass, there are not that many that compare to this new one right here. The Ghost one is too light, so I think we will compare first with the Ambient Lighting Edit and Lock. As far as the finishing powder goes, the one from Ambient Lighting Edit and Lock, these are more warm, they are more deeper than the ones that we find right here on the new Sculpture one. I think you can see it side by side. And here we have the Lighting Blush Quad Ghost versus the new Lighting Edit Sculpture. Now these right here is all blushes. We go for the obvious one. Right in the middle is that Sculpture shade. It's a little bit more orange. Let me just build up a little bit more this one. Top one Sculpture, lower one Ghost. Now let's compare the blush Vibrant Flash to Incandescent Electra. Vibrant Flash on top, Incandescent Electra on the bottom. Let's compare Mood Exposure Blush versus At Night, which is a new shade for Hourglass. Mood Exposure At Night. Let's compare the bronzer on the Sculpture palette, Natural Bronze Light with Radiant Bronze Light. Definitely the one from the Sculpture is a lot more red hue. And that being said, let's compare them to the Gucci bronzers, because these right here, they do have the red hue and these are new. So a lot of people, they just either bought them or you have perhaps have them on your wish list. So I think this will be very interesting. I'm gonna do first Gucci number 3, then Sculpture Natural Bronze Light, and now Gucci number 4. Gonna build it up just a little more for you. I will say that it's close to the number 3 of Gucci, but has a little bit more red in it. Just a touch. Now last comparison right here, this one. This is an ambient lighting palette, and you're gonna say, why? Well, honestly, right here on this new Sculpture palette, this I don't feel is the highlighter that you found on the Unlock palette. It's not like that. It's not, I mean, I'm not saying that to be a highlighter has to be BBing, but this one, it's very subtle. It's beautiful. It's beautiful, but it's very subtle, to the point that that's why I use it all around the perimeter of my face, because I didn't feel afraid to have, you know, like too much of like that beaming metallic effect. So thinking about that, I mean, these are not equal, but it acts kind of like the same as these right here. So let's just swatch it. We go first. There are some subtle differences. These right here, is very close to the top part. I mean, very close. The difference is very subtle, but very close. Now going into my final thoughts. Just talking exclusively about this palette right here, I think it's beautiful. If you have never tried Hourglass, if you don't have other products from Hourglass, you want to try their dim light, diffuse powders and blushes, etc. This is a great value. Costs $80. Yeah, I know it sounds a lot, but yesterday when I did a review of the Ambient Sculpture Unlock, this name is just so long. Okay, this what right here, and I'm just gonna put a really quick side by side right there so you can see it. I mentioned to you about price. Each of these pans come with 1.4 grams of product, which is the same size as the travel size that they sell, say at Sephora, Hourglass, Beautylish, and other websites. Okay, so these right here cost you about $14.50 per pan. Okay, if you make the division right here, this palette costs $58. So going back right here, again, I know it feels like $80 is a lot, and if you want to wait for the Sephora sale to come, jump in right away, because this is the first things to sell out in stores and online, and that's not to freak you out, it's just a reality of things. But this right here is the best value, because $80 divided into 6, each of these pans ends up costing you $13.33. And the travel size, each of those little compacts, they cost $24. So yes, you're saving money on the long run, and this is a good way to step on, you know, Hourglass products, get to know the brand. This palette right here, to me, is more for those who have light skin tones, light to medium. If you have medium to tan to deep, I will say you may go with this one right here. I will obviously cannot suggest you the older version because it's not any longer available, but this one, yes, this could be for you. Now if you are more into that true deep rich skin tones, unfortunately Hourglass is not yet catering for your complexion, and that makes me so sad to say it. I mean, like, it's just such a beloved brand. We have been asking and asking to them. I mean, I do have a light to medium skin tones, but we need to be more inclusive, and we all have been asking for more, and it seems like Hourglass is not listening. They're just going like la 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 la. I hope I'm wrong, and I hope I have still the hopes and that expectation that perhaps on, you know, the mid of holiday season, perhaps end of October, early November, they will come out with another 6-pan palette or another 4-pan palette. That would be so awesome. I hope so. I really hope so. But just again, going into this palette right here, the beauty of it, performance, everything is there. The highlighter, not to my preference. I don't like necessarily a metallic highlighter as the one that we find here on this quad or on the past one on the Unlock, but for a highlighter, sometimes I want something a little bit more. I will say, I mean, if you're not interested at all in this blush right here, or this blush, or the bronzer, and you already have something like this, if you have this one right here, you may not need the palette. Okay, let's just be honest. Now, another great YouTuber, Brit Clark, she had a live, and it was just about kind of like a Will I Buy It video where she was talking about the new makeup releases, I think, something like that, or it was something else. I don't remember. It just happened like 2-3 days ago, and she commented something that I think it was super smart to say. It's like, what about if Hourglass will give us the opportunity to pick and choose during the holiday season, like from a small selection of products, customize our palette in other ways. And I think that's a great idea. I mean, I know may not be the right thing for the brand because this brand is luxury, and I don't see luxury brands doing that, but even if they do it on a quad like this, it will be amazing. Other than that, if I will recommend the palette, I will have to say absolutely yes. happy with my purchase? Absolutely super happy with my purchase. I will have to say that I like these better than the Ghost palette. The Ghost palette of last year, I do have a light to medium skin tone, and that palette, although I was enjoying it during the time that I was my palest, I was like, it's not as good. It wasn't as good as this one right here. If I was gonna rank them, I would say this one will go first, top, this one will go in the middle, and Ghost will go at last. And last thing, and as I refer at the beginning of the video, the shelf life of these palettes is of 12 months. And I think Hourglass is trying to get away with the sense of, and many brands, it's like, okay, if I'm giving the palette 12 months of shelf life, it's exclusive for the holiday season, then if I repeat some shades, it doesn't matter because this is just an exclusive palette. I wish they could be more creative. I wish that also they can tell us, on these right here, they were able to tell us, okay, you have 3 new ones, 3 existing on the line, but on this quad right here was a little bit different. Go and check my video so you get to know what I'm talking about. Okay, my friends, and I think this makes it for this video. I hope that you have found it helpful and informative, that this honestly will help you to make a wise decision if you want to add this palette to your collection or to be your first Hourglass palette. Let me know in the comments down below, what are you thinking about these palettes? Which one is the one that attracts more your attention, or if you have picked up any of them. And while you're at it, and if you haven't done so yet, I hope that you will consider, give me that opportunity and subscribe to my channel. Ring that post notification bell so you don't miss any of my uploads. Here on this channel, I upload frequently a lot of great content, from reviews, hauls, first impressions, try-ons, I mean, you name it. I do Will I Buy It videos here too. So I will really love for you to become part of my family. And that being said, if you are on Instagram just scrolling down your feed, what about if you can give me that opportunity right there as well and help me grow my Instagram? Follow me there. I keep you posted about the new makeup releases. As well, I show you close-up images and videos of the products that I'm reviewing and much more. If you like this video, do not forget to give it a thumbs up. Also share with family and friends. And until the next time, I hope you have a beautiful, wonderful day. Bye-bye.